Mr. Modi has neither spoken about nor probably understands, and therefore will never implement the basic reforms in governance that are necessary for the elimination of corruption. The idea that he is somehow honest or whatever is either, even if it's true, which it is, I'm sure it's not, that does not really help anybody in India, because the causes of corruption are endemic and systemic, and they have to be addressed by fixing a number of things. Two of them, the key ones, are the state funding of elections and the elimination of tenure of the bureaucracy. In addition, of course, we know that the government must get out of things that it's not supposed to do, that is to minimize the opportunities for corruption and so on. But I'll just focus on the two basic reforms that are directly within the control of the Prime Minister. The need for state funding of elections to ensure that candidates are reimbursed a certain amount, such as rupees 20 per valid vote cast upon their election. This will encourage honest people to enter politics, because today, unless you have a lot of black money, it is virtually impossible to enter elections. And if you then enter elections and lose your money, it is simply unsustainable as a solution for India's democracy. So this model, which is clearly explained in my book, but also in the Swarn Bharat Party manifesto, is something that Mr. Modi has never thought about, nor mentioned, nor will ever implement. This makes corruption among all politicians a necessity, and therefore corruption can never go from India under Mr. Modi's regime. Number two, of course, the tenure of the civil services, which I've spoken about extensively. We really cannot have an efficient and corruption-free bureaucracy unless there is accountability. And I won't go into details, but this again is within the hands of Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of India. Of course, he also has to fix a lot of other things, like the opportunities that I've spoken about. Getting out of many things that the government currently does. Public sector banks are a hotbed of corruption. Mr. Modi is personally involved, is my view. But anyway, leave that aside. The basic point is that there are a lot of deluded people in the country who believe that Mr. Modi is not responsible for India's corruption at the retail level. I beg to differ, and I suggest that they try to understand the basic systems that are at work in India. Without such understanding, you are likely to be deluded and you will be disappointed for the whole of your life. 70 years have gone by. India has not fixed, has not been changed. It continues to be extraordinarily corrupt. It is probably getting worse. I get reports of corruption every day from my blog, from, of course, newspapers, from emails sent to me. And I really don't know what people are trying to do by supporting Mr. Modi and the BJP. The solution is very obvious for those who are even slightly interested in fixing corruption and addressing India's many problems. Please join Swarn Bharat Party, read the manifesto, and then let's work together to solve India's problems.